All right, so one of the things that's usually harder to do when when I'm traveling is to stay in shape, get some exercise in and so on. And so for the last, I don't know, a couple of days, couple of weeks, if I can't get to do a full workout, I'll just get some push-ups in, some sit-ups, some squats, some wall sits. Like those hurt. And I know we kind of have this thing where oh, I need to go to the gym or I need to go to the park or work out. Sometimes you can just find a spot in your house, drop down, do a couple push-ups, a couple of squats or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. For me, I just need to get something done, get my heart rate up a little bit, which is good for cardio, but also I want to make sure I'm putting some strength training in. So yeah, that's basically my mindset. Um, do what I can where I can with what I got, and I've kind of always taken that philosophy, even in video production. You don't always get the perfect setup. You don't always get the perfect room. You don't always have all the lights you need. Um, but you do what you can with what you got, with what you're given. So yeah.
All right, so first case is 935, and it has some of the peripheral stuff. The cameras are already built out in the other case, but this has audio, memory cards, gimbal, and my laptop, obviously. The other case is an impact light stand case, rolling light stand case. It has, the light stands, the two cameras are built out, and, other peripheral stuff. So it was an early morning. Got up early and, like I said, got the exercise in and continued on the journey. I actually made a wrong turn. Well, not a wrong turn. I chose the wrong direction and I ended up going on a route that did not have tolls, which kind of took an additional 20 minutes, which I didn't realize. But I made it there, made it on time, about 15 minutes later than I planned to, but still plenty of time to get everything set up. Typically, two camera setup with wide shot and tight shot, right? So a camera is Sony FX30 with a Sigma 30mm f1.4 prime lens. Second camera is a Sony ZV E1 with with a 50mm f1.8 lens as a tight shot. I do love having a bit of a profile shot with the tight shot. I'm not able to show you what the actual interview frames look like for this one because the client we're under NDA, so I can't show any of the actual footage. But yeah, setting up, I'll kind of fast forward through most of this. On the B camera, I actually had an Axoon wireless transmitter, so I could get the feed while I'm sitting beside the A camera, making sure I'm monitoring both cameras. One of the tricks of the trade when you're a solo operator. The light stands that I'm using are actually the impact interlocking light stands, which are pretty cool because they pack up really small and they actually pack a punch in terms of weight and height. The light I'm using is Nanlite 300B, and it is quite a nice light, very cost effective in terms of price per watt. It's probably one of the best value out there. I did have to crank it. I had to max out that light because window behind is a bright day, and it just barely managed to be able to expose for the outside. I did lose some of the highlights, but I still was able to retain some of the details outside, which is pretty cool. So my typical setup is a key light, a bounce, and a hair light. I couldn't get the hair light in on this occasion, and so it was just the key light and the bounce. and it turned out pretty well. It wasn't quite high key, but a little bit below high key, which is my preferred framing and preferred way to expose. So yeah, I mean, setting up everything and trying to get everything exposed and set up before the client comes in. But once the client comes in, there's some fine tuning in terms of getting everything exposed for their skin and their color tone and so on. But it was pretty cool. I did have fun with this one. This was the first interview. The second interview was a little more. I did prefer that framing and the background on that one a little more. And I'll show you the clips that came out of that one. So white balance, I do love using a white balance card or white card, gray card type thing to get white balance, especially when you're using two different models of camera, even though they're the same camera system. Sensors are a little bit different, and so you want to make sure that they're capturing, the perfect or as close to perfect white balance for the scene that you're in. So I don't just set a particular white balance. I do like to set the white balance based off of the scene. This is the second interview, and it was basically the same setup. Two cameras, key light, bounce, and making sure I'm exposing for a little bit, at least trying to get some of the exposure for outside dialed in. So asking the questions, paying attention to the camera, monitoring audio, monitoring two cameras, and also trying to engage and be attentive to the speaker so they can feel like they're talking to someone. That is pretty tricky, and it takes some focus, takes some time, and then also kind of coaxing them and making sure that based off of the script that you have, based off of the direction that this this film or this video is trying to go, that you have all the things covered. So this is a frame of the second interview. Again, lost some of the highlights, but not everything. So I was still able to get some of the detail from outside. That thing in the hand is my monitoring solution. It's a camera monitor with the Axoon receiver, typical, director's monitor type thing. So I use that when the B camera isn't directly beside me and I'm sitting beside the A cam, so I can make sure I'm seeing what the B cam is seeing, right? So this is pretty much the frame. This is pretty much the shot. This is false colors. For me, I again, it was slightly underexposed for me because of my skin tone versus the interviewee's skin tone, but I think it went well. I did use Cinetone for this one because I needed to send off the footage right away. But yeah, that's the frame. That's how things looked. I do like using false colors to make sure my exposure is dialed in. But anything you guys don't like, or any feedback, you can definitely throw that in the comments. I'll interact with you there. Any questions you have, feel free to throw that in the comments as well. But I had fun doing these shoots. Again, I'm sorry I can't show you the actual interview frame because those are under NDA. Again, if you like this stuff, feel free to hit the like button. And if you don't like it, the thumbs down button works just fine. And go ahead and subscribe. I will be posting more of these content as we go along and as I am able to capture behind the scenes and bring you along on the journey.